Hi there, this is Life Prepper here, and I received this article from my friend Carol. Hi, Carol, and she's got me some other articles she sent me, and I want to be posting them, and so I want to be thanking her for each one because these are some pretty cool articles. So you see this article right here. It's talking about prepping when you're poor by Ken Jodison. Jodison. I'm probably mispronounced it. Jorgustin, and it comes from Modern Survival Blog. It says, prepping when you're poor. It says, I recently received an email asking how to become a better prepared when you are poor. This person is interested in doing more to be better prepared, but apparently has no funds to do so. Immediately, this is difficult, but the situation can be turned around by going about preparation in a different way. And that's the truth. I am just broker than a buck-toothed beaver who can't chew on his wood anymore. But the thing is you have to rethink your status. You don't have the money. You have to sit there and think, like, okay, I want to buy $25 worth of groceries this week. But I want to take 3 of it and buy for prepping. I want to buy more dry goods, more dry beans, more dry goods to put up instead of buying all this canned goods and stuff. And I want to reduce some of my fresh stuff, like fresh. Instead of buying a high, steak for $15, I'll buy a steak for $10 and take that other $5 and put towards prepping for extra food. It says the initial action of someone who has decided to take more responsibility for themselves and become better prepared for emergency disasters or worse is to go out and buy stuff prepped. The things they think they would need to survive. The thing is, although these things may be of help, believe it or not, it's not the most important aspect of being prepared, and here's why. Let me back up a little. It says, having certain survival item preps can indeed be most important thing to your survival under some circumstances that you find yourself in, but from a broader perspective and a more general ability to survive longer term, you need the right mindset, adaptability, and know-how. These do not cost money. They take practice. I suspect that many of those who are or have been poor will already possess a certain ability to get by without having lots of stuff. I bet they have developed ability to get what they need, however that may be. After all, if you're alive, you're surviving. Having said that, my first advice would be to have a look inward at yourself. You got to look inside yourself. I wasn't contented for years. I wanted to get more back to nature, get back to faces, and change things for myself. And I kept saying, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. And God's going to take care of me where I can do this when I need to. So when I moved, I started just by saving water. And then as time went on, I started changing the stuff I buy. I started learning how to cook single meals instead of cooking meals that would last me 3 or 4 days, eating that would go to waste. Because if I didn't eat it all, it would go bad, go waste. I learned to cook smaller portion meals, and I learned to store more dry food stuff than canned foods and things like that. Not that I don't get my canned foods. I use my canned foods regular, but I don't buy as huge amounts, because you can buy a can of beans for a couple cans of beans, depends on what it is, $1.40, $1.50, whatever. And you can get a small bag of dry beans that would be equivalent of 6 cans of beans for the same price. So, there's a lot to think about. It's talking about, and you're poor and on government assistance, then be very smart with assistance that you do get. Spend your money wisely, buy foods that are cheap, and I just sit there and talk about the calories they provide. And that's something I do. When I'm looking at my packages, I look at what it has on the back of it as far as calories and nutrition value. I look at all that. Beans is considered a good protein source. Keeping, canned tuna fish on hand and things in that area. Look at what's on the back of it. Peanut butter is another protein source and stuff. That's something you can buy. That's pretty cheap. Keeping your jellies on hand, yeah, that's sweet, a little bit sweet, but you know what? That'll help keep you going in things like that. And switching from keeping a tortilla bread on hand instead of regular loaf bread for your meals and stuff. That can also be something you may want to think about. If you're cooking, is using that instead as a wrap. So there's a lot to think about on things that you can do. And it says, unfortunately, many of the poor depend entirely on the government, which leads to a mixed set of complications and expectancies, both of which are not favorable towards a mindset of preparation and self-reliance. And that's the truth. Many people has gotten complacent. They've gotten so used to being taken care of by the government, they don't even think about trying to do anything else. They live in fixed income homes. Some of them might pay $50 a month or whatever deal. They're getting free food. They're getting their food stamps, and not that I don't get it. I get my sure help when I need it. I'm not gonna lie about it. If I need some food, I go get it. I'm not starving, but if I feel I need some food and I'm running out, then I will go get me some food if I have to have it. But a lot of the people who's actually living off some of the financial situations live better than people who's not, because they was told they make $10 too much, or they make too much money to qualify for any assistance. But unfortunately, generations has been bred into this, and I have found over the years where it's one generation after another, so it's passed down for one, and they've gotten used to this, and they know, and they're used to this life. So if SHTF happens worldwide tomorrow, many of these people are really going to be screwed. So just because you're on financial assistance doesn't mean you don't need to learn how to prepare and put up food for things when it gets bad, and change many of your lifestyle skills. It says, and then you need lead to skills that you'll thrive at. If you're poor and you do have a job, think about whether or not you like your job. Could you express interest in doing something else at work? Show initiative to your boss, and just basically cross train and all this stuff. That's just without said. It don't matter on any situation. It said at home, spend more time learning practical things. Shut off the TV for a while. Spend some time educating yourself by either the internet or reading. And one of the most beneficial things you can learn is how to garden and grow some of your own food. Seeds are cheap, dirt is free, water is abundant. There are no excuses not to try gardening. And if you live in apartments, you can get you some 5-gallon buckets, get you some dirt, and plant you a couple of tomato plants or something, and try it just in the house. Have a few plants. You don't need a lot. Believe it or not, if you've got 4 or 5-gallon buckets, you put your dirt in and had a couple of tomato plants, and if you like bell peppers or whatever, and you want a couple of bell pepper plants, or you got a hot pepper, the amount of money that you're going to end up saving can really come in handy. And you might find you actually just like it. So being prepared while it's poor is a matter of knowing how to survive if things ever even get worse. In a bizarre sense, some of those who are poor may be better off after SHTF, total SHTF it says, than some of those who are rich with all the goodies. The poor are those who are not of government-dependent mindset and are capable of scraping for what they need to survive. So there's a difference between being poor and government-dependent, okay? And the rich people have never scraped for what they need. It will be new for them. And at least it will be after their stuff runs out. And even a lot of times these so-called well-to-do people don't stock it. They said there's a lot of people, they taught me how a lot of these well-to-do people actually stock up on things and prepare themselves and they prep for stuff. You'll be surprised how many, some of them is stocked up on food to last them for a while. But then again, a lot of them stocks up on things like meats and stuff like that, and they got a huge freezer or whatever. But the fire goes out, they're screwed. So, depends on whether they got solar or wind power. Okay, the short answer is to do your best at bettering your position in life. If that means finding a better paying job, then figure out how to do that. Go after your interests. If it means changing your purchase habits with a little money that you do have, then change it. If it means asking for help, then ask. Just remember that although we all need some amount of money and shelter to survive, we don't need nearly as much stuff as some may have you believe in order to survive a collapse. It's about your ability to adapt to the situation in order to get what you need. It's about creativity, street smarts, practical skills, the people you know, your being frugal, your ability to trade your skills for things you need, your value in a post-SHTF world, your ability to live off the land, the ability to successfully live with what you have, and I hope you get the idea. So, there's a lot to think about on this here when you think on it. Uh, and I really do appreciate this article here. This is really a good article. And I thank Carol for sending it to me. And that's why I call myself a basic prepper. And that's one reason I share all these articles with you, to share thoughts and ideas. You have to readjust. You have to think about how you're going to take care of your family, take care of yourself. And it's the same way with first aid supplies or other things. Buying, extra band-aids or buying extra gauze or whatever. It's just, you don't have to get it all at once, a little at a time. Have your first aid supplies on hand, have your other stuff on hand, learn about nature, learn about herbs, learn about other job skills, do research, go to the library, get books, read, research. And you don't have to tell people that you're become a prepper or anything like that. You really don't need to tell anybody because none of them are concerned about it. Actually, it's probably best to keep it on low key in many cases, especially because of where you live at. If you live in a neighborhood where they would come in and break in and take all your food and stuff, that's something to think on. Is just changing things around, changing places where you put your food at, changing your lifestyle around. It's a lot to think about when you're on a limited income and having to think about how you're going to get back and forth to work and enough gas to get you through the day, enough to get you through on food. Are you on a Roman noodle budget? I am. I ain't going to lie about it. I'm on a Roman noodle budget. So, what you can do, instead of buying, high dollar drinks, get you some water, make you some tea, make you some Kool-Aid up or whatever. Hey, I was raised on Kool-Aid. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Think about changing things around. What you can have on hand. I thank you, Carol, for sending me this article. I appreciate it. This is a live prayer for you to be safe, be happy. Bless you.